Thanks for tuning in to Cronkite Sports Now. We've got a lot to cover on today's edition. Let's jump right in. A new look for the Phoenix Suns, ranging from how they play all the way down to what they wear. Although the Sun Devils have the week off, there's still plenty to talk about in college football and a high school athlete catching early attention of college coaches. These stories and more coming your way on Cronkite Sports Now. Good afternoon and happy October. I'm Kiana Wallenk. Welcome to this edition of Cronkite Sports Now. Disappointed with the season results of not making it to the postseason, the Arizona Diamondbacks have already made some changes to the coaching staff to improve their chances for next season. Cronkite News reporter Rob Werner is at Chase Field with more details.
That's a wrap for the 2019 season for the Arizona Diamondbacks. The team concluded its regular season at 85-77, finishing in second place in the NL West, but falling shy of postseason baseball. On Monday, the organization announced that it had decided to part ways with pitching coach Mike Butcher. And for manager Torey Lovello, he stressed that this decision wasn't an easy one.
He and I have had a long relationship. I've known him for over 30 years, and he's done some wonderful things here for this organization. And I want to make sure that I throw that out there before I explain that. I just think philosophically there were some differences that were happening, and I wanted to explore some different angles, and I wanted to see what we could get into to make us a little bit better.
General Manager Mike Hazen noted there are two specific areas the club wants to improve on this offseason. One, improving the back end of the bullpen, and two, making the offense and lineup more consistent in 2020. From Chase Field, Rob Werner, Cronkite News.
As one season comes to an end, another begins in the Valley. With new players, new uniforms, and new head coach Monty Williams, the Suns are looking for a total rebrand, including their style of play, as Williams explained at Media Day on Monday.
I want to play an enjoyable style, but also want to be efficient. And I want to be able to get out of the way. I think we can play a bit faster. And I tell players all the time, if you want freedom on offense, get a stop. Because if you get a stop, I don't have to call plays and we can just go.
As the Suns prepare for the season, they are headed up to Flagstaff for training camp. Stay tuned right here on Cronkite Sports Now. We'll have the scoop from up north later this week. Moving forward to the gridiron, we'll stay local here in the Valley, just like the Sun Devil football team is doing this week. Brady King is in Tempe with an update after Friday night's battle up at Berkeley.
There are officially 0 Pac-12 teams left undefeated after ASU upset Cal in Berkeley on Friday. Here's what head coach Herm Edwards had to say after that win.
It's hard to play in this place. I know. Been here before. Played in this place. But we're a little bit wounded. We need some rest right now. Our team's beat up. This bye couldn't come in a better time.
Now, not only did ASU find themselves back in the top 25 AP rankings at number 20 this week, they also brought in a lot of Pac-12 attention. Center Cole Cabral was named O-Lineman of the Week, and George Lee was named D-Lineman of the Week. And rounding out these weekly honors, Coach Herm Edwards was also named Dodd Trophy Coach of the Week for the second time. Now, speaking of weeks, it is currently bye week for this 4-1 squad, meaning some well-deserved rest. Up next, the team will host Washington State on October 12th. In Tempe, I'm Brady King, Cronkite News.
A controversial law signed by California Governor Gavin Newsom could change the landscape of the NCAA and has drawn mixed reactions from across the country. The new law allows NCAA athletes in California to profit from endorsement deals and hire licensed agents. A statement from the Pac-12 conference highlighted its concerns with the law, saying the legislation will, quote, lead to may unintended consequences, some of which include reduced resources to female athletes and Olympic sports as a whole. It's not every day that you see a 6'5" freshman in high school. Cronkite News reporter Stephanie Bates spoke with Pinnacle High's newest member of their varsity football team.
Deuce Robinson isn't your typical high school freshman. Arizona State reportedly gave the Pinnacle tight end wide receiver a scholarship offer before he had ever played a down of tackle football.
I waited mostly because my parents wanted me to wait. They wanted me to wait at least until 8th grade. And then they gave me the option to either go ahead and play or my dad's a trainer. And so he said I could just spend the fall working out and training.
Pinnacle's head coach Dana Zubke first noticed him during a 7th grade flag football game. His height and ability to move really stood out, and Zubke immediately saw a future for Robinson as a Pioneer.
I went and introduced myself to his dad and just wanted to make sure they knew he had a home in Pinnacle.
Coach was excited to welcome Robinson to the Pinnacle family, and that's been his favorite part about the program so far.
I love being around my teammates throughout school and practices. They've taught me a ton about the football games. They'll help me out with my schoolwork, and it's just a lot easier to make friends now that I have them.
In addition to football, Robinson hopes to play basketball and baseball at Pinnacle. In Phoenix, I'm Stephanie Bates, Cronkite News.
Early off in the season, coaches are already impressed with Robinson's performance. The Pioneers are 4-1 on the season, with their only loss being to a team from Seattle, Washington. The team will finish off the remainder of the season in state. Coming into the 2019 season, it was understood that the Arizona Cardinals would take time to develop. But as the team failed to pick themselves up after another loss, Coach Kingsbury continues to stress the importance of remaining positive. On the hunt for their first win, Kingsbury talked about the tough loss against Seattle.
A lot of the same things that I had seen, just self-inflicted wounds. Got to give Seattle a lot of credit, made a bunch of plays, but there's a lot of things that we can clean up and have to get better at.
Sunday's 27-10 loss to the visiting Seattle Seahawks was just the latest string of underachieving performances by the Cardinals on both sides of the ball. Looking forward, the team hopes to gain their first win in Cincinnati on Sunday. That does it for today's edition of Cronkite Sports Now. For Arizona sports stories from around the Valley, visit the Cronkite Sports tab on arizonasports.com. And as always, for top Arizona news stories, head over to our website at cronkitenews.azpbs.org. And be sure to tune in tonight at 5 p.m. on Arizona PBS for our nightly newscast. On behalf of the entire Cronkite Sports Now crew, thanks for joining us. We'll see you back here tomorrow, same time, same place.